What's up guys, Donnie B here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A54. Now I had a couple goals in mind when reviewing this phone. Number one is I needed something that I could recommend that has great specs, it looks good, and is affordable. Because not everyone can or wants to spend $1,300 on a smartphone. I mean, that's literally what I paid for my first car back in, well, it doesn't matter when. All that matters is that's a lot of money then, and it's still a lot of money now. And the second thing is I did not want to just jump into it with bias comparing it to my S23 Ultra, which it seems I've already missed the mark on that one, but anyway. I wanted to experience it for what it really is without any expectations, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed. One thing I do have to say before we get into this though is that this video is not sponsored, but there are links below that directly support this channel if you decide to use them. Now, let's get into it. Right now, the A54 is $449, and you actually get quite a bit for your money. It's running Android 13, it has One UI 5.1 with 4 years of software updates and 5 years of security updates. But that's only part of what makes it great. And it's a glass slab with the same minimalist design that the S23 series has, with the flat back and just the 3 single camera lenses that leave a really clean look. One thing that I did notice is that the gloss finish on the back is an absolute fingerprint magnet, but most people are going to have it in a case anyway. On the right side is the volume rocker and the power button, but the top has a SIM tray that doubles as a micro SD slot for expandable storage up to 1 terabyte. I thought that was a thing of the past. Now it is dual SIM for those of you that need that, doing international calling and whatnot, but one of them is a eSIM. I have a feeling that all phones are kind of headed in that direction, so we might as well get used to the idea of it. Now that we've gone over how it looks, let's get into the specs, which is quite impressive for a $450 phone. The display is a 6.4-inch Full HD LTPO AMOLED with 120 Hz for that buttery smooth goodness that gets up to 1000 nits brightness and is plenty bright for outdoor viewing. The refresh rate is adaptive from 120 to 60 Hz to ensure a longer battery life, which you will get thanks to the 5000 milliamp hour battery. That's capable of 25 watt fast charging, but unfortunately there's no wireless charging. It's just one of the things that they did to cut costs. But 5000 milliamps is about as big as you get. I consistently manage to get about 6 hours, maybe 6.5 of serious screen on time. Not standby, but just screen on. That's one thing you do get when you step up to the more expensive chipsets like the Snapdragon is efficiency. But the Exynos 1380 and the 6 gigs of RAM and up to 6 gigs of virtual RAM are powerful enough to open apps quickly and works great for everyday use like email, watching YouTube, streaming Spotify. You get the idea. I'll throw the Geekbench scores up for those of you that care about that sort of thing. Now, it's not the most powerful phone on the market, but for the price, it definitely gets the job done. Under the display is an optical fingerprint reader, not ultrasonic. It's not the fastest fingerprint reader I've ever used, but it is pretty accurate and reliable. Never really had any issues. Alright, now let's talk about the cameras. There's a 32 megapixel selfie camera, a 50 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel macro. It would be nice to have a telephoto, but they had to save somewhere, and me personally, I like macro photography. The biggest place where you can cut costs is going to be the cameras and the chipsets, and that is exactly what you have here. Now, I said I wasn't going to compare this phone to another, and I think I've been pretty good about it, but this is really where you separate an affordable phone from a flagship. Now, the images the A54 produce are good, and honestly, they are better than I expected. They tend to be on the brighter side of perfectly exposed, and the low light performance is passable. I think the only reason I even use the term good and passable is because I use and have used flagship devices from Samsung for a very long time. Unless you have them right next to each other or use them every day, then you would never know what it was missing, and they would be just fine. Really, my only complaint is they tend to be on the brighter side. Other than that, they are perfectly fine. Alright, so this is the audio coming directly from the A54 for all you vloggers out there. This is what it sounds like. I'm next to a busy road. There's a lot of ambient noise. Don't know how much of that's being picked up, but I'm intentionally walking in and out of the shade so we can see how the auto exposure works. Seems to be doing a pretty good job. This is full automatic mode, and so far the image quality looks really good. The stabilization's okay. Here we're gonna go up some stairs right now to see how that does. It is a little tight for what I like though. Let's go up the stairs. All right, we're gonna turn around and go back down. And I hear there's a lot of road noise around, so I don't know how much that's being picked up, but we'll see. And this is the 32 megapixel front camera. That actually looks really good. Stabilization is nice. I mean, for 450 bucks, you really can't beat it. All right, I'm gonna switch it around and we'll check out this main camera. Okay, so this is the audio and stabilization coming out of the main camera on the A54 in the rear-facing microphone. I was pretty impressed with the front-facing 32 megapixel selfie cam, but this is the 50 megapixel main camera. It's probably a little tight, but we'll switch to the ultra wide in just a minute. I really just wanted to test the audio on the rear-facing microphone and stabilization. So here we are about to go up these stairs. And then we'll turn around and go back down the stairs. Yeah, how was it? All right, so now we're on the ultra wide, which is a 12 megapixel. It really is, I mean, in bright daylight conditions like this, going in and out of the shade, exposure is going to be fine. I'm really more or less worried about the stabilization and how it's doing. You know, with it being ultra wide, you know, it doesn't have optical image stabilization. It is digital, so it's cropping in just a little bit to give you that digital stabilization. So on the ultra wide, I'm curious to see how well it's doing. And by the way, man, I just want to, you know, thank you guys. We made it to 1,000 subscribers. That was the goal this month, and yeah, we hit it. I couldn't have done it without y'all. All right, up the stairs, ultra wide. All right, that's not too bad. How's that exposure doing? Said I'm intentionally walking in and out of the bright and shady spots just to see how it does automatically. But all in all, for $450, you get a really nice camera, you get a massive battery, and you're getting the 120 hertz LTPO AMOLED display. It's full HD, or what they're calling HD plus. It's not 1920 by or 1080 by 1920. I think it's 1080 by 2340 or something like that. So who do I think it's for? I think it's for anybody that wants a good display, a big battery, and a decent camera system that doesn't want to spend $1,000 on a phone. Do I recommend going from the S20 to the A54? No, probably not. If you're looking for an affordable way to get into the Samsung ecosystem, then yes, for sure. The Galaxy Watch, Galaxy Buds, Samsung SmartThings, they all work great with the A54. And One UI is probably my favorite version of Android. Now, are you going to edit 4K video on it? Probably not well. Can you mindlessly scroll through Instagram or Twitter while listening to Spotify? Absolutely. You can even use it for subscribing to this YouTube channel. And for $450, you're getting a high refresh rate OLED, expandable storage, a massive battery, and a pretty good camera. If you have an old phone to trade in, you can even get it cheaper, and I imagine you could probably get it for free with a contract from your service provider. I am curious to see how it does head-to-head with the Pixel 7a though, so let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see, or if you have any thoughts or experience with the A54, I'd love to hear it. And that's going to do it for this one. If you found this helpful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It lets me know how I did. And if you're into photo and tech related content, be sure to subscribe because we would love to have you. If you plan to pick up the A54, then there are some affiliate links in the description below, and it does directly support the channel if you purchase anything through it, and I would appreciate it. As always, take care of yourselves. You know you deserve it. I'm Donnie B, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.